Okay, that's the word coming in on ITC. Just a word on the market as well, which still remains soft. So just treading water now, 49.83. Couple of more numbers that have been coming through, including for NIIT. That stock should be up on your screens. Let's see if we can loop up with the management and get more details on the numbers. Vijay Thadani joins in for that. Vijay, morning. Let me start by asking you to lay out the trajectory as you see it for the rest of this year, because the body language from IT companies has been quite different when we speak to different managements. What is it that looks like a reasonable revenue growth target for NIIT this year?
Yeah, I think before that I need to put it in a perspective that during the last year, our focus was on strengthening our balance sheet, and we brought it to a near zero debt situation, just 6.7 crores out of 310 crores. We had a very decent growth in each of the 4 platforms of growth that we have been focusing on. The cloud campus got 13,800 new enrollments, which in the first year of operation is really phenomenal response. We had in our managed training services added 9 global contracts with $120 million visibility now. We added 47% order intake improvement in the schools where we were working on N-Guru solutions. And then in the skill building, we built a partnership with NSDC for skills development with 6 new centers. Now, if you look at this as a backdrop, there are 2 important markets which are important to us. One, India. The second is US and Europe. Managed training services is a relatively new activity, and I think the propensity to outsource, given the economic uncertainty there, is actually on an increase. So we have seen a dramatic increase in our order intake, and we do see that trend continuing during the year based on the funnel that we see. So while the market will remain uncertain, we do see a positive opportunity for us in order intake if you look at the outsourcing market from US and Europe. On the other hand, if I look at India, I think a number of conditions can point to its being positive, which is larger number of people going to colleges and therefore more looking for jobs and therefore requirement of skills development from a supply side. From a demand side, as you rightly said, the signal is mixed. There are certain sections which are looking for more people, but there are others. Now that we have a diversified portfolio of training offerings, are giving and cautious optimism. So I would tend to feel that it's a mixed reaction for next year. But the 4 platforms of growth we are working on, we tend to feel will all aid us in overcoming that to an extent.
Sure. Can I just ask you to detail what's happened on the margin front as well for NIIT this time round, Vijay?
Yeah, I think first of all, if you look at our overall results, we have to exclude the divestiture of Element K from both sides. As you know, Element K was a relatively lower margin business. But on the other hand, in operations, and their volume was fairly large. So if you take that away, then you would see that on a like-to-like continuing basis, and without considering pass-through revenues to create a comparable, the margins are at the same level as last year. Slightly dipped, about 20 basis points, sorry, slightly dipped. But I think broadly at the same level. So given the new initiatives that we had launched, actually one would have looked at a larger drop in margins, which is what we had projected.
Okay, so just give us a sense, given what you're seeing in terms of enrollments, on what you think might be a likely revenue growth for this year, Vijay, just even a ballpark percentage range?
Well, I definitely feel that at the level that we grew last year, which was about 15% on a year-on-year basis, I would tend to feel, despite the choppy conditions, we should have a similar level. Now, what that level might be, whether it is a few hundred basis points lower or a little higher is difficult to predict, but I would tend to feel in early teens is perhaps the right level of growth to aim for.
Okay, Vijay, we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining in. That's NIIT with their numbers, some growth for them year on year. And as the management pointed out, more importantly, the cleanup process is nearly done in terms of what's happened on their balance sheet. These aviation stocks should come up for you. That's important news that's coming through for some of them.